It is roughly 170,000 years ago on the vast African savanna. An early human wakes up, stretches, and looks out across the open grasslands. At no point does this ancestor think about fashion or tailored outfits. Yet, billions of people today repeat the exact same ritual of getting dressed every single morning. Clothing is so deeply baked into our existence that society literally mandates it. Modern legal systems will intervene if a person chooses to be completely naked. But why did this bizarre behavioral shift start in our evolutionary history? Why did humans adopt clothing when every other animal on Earth just did not? Wild animals like wolves, lions, and bears walk around perfectly fine without jackets. Even highly intelligent elephants have never once desired a tailored coat. The short answer to when this all started has eluded scientists for centuries. But the long answer involves a deeply fascinating and slightly gross evolutionary detective story. This historical mystery centers on an unlikely creature that traveled alongside us. To understand the origin of fashion, we must look at the genetics of human lice. Let us first journey back to what scientists call the naked ape problem. Humans are essentially the only large mammals on Earth that are nearly hairless. Other primates like gorillas and chimpanzees are completely covered in thick fur. Animals across wildly different ecosystems possess natural, protective coats. Yet humans stand in the middle of this vast biodiversity completely smooth and patchy. This evolutionary look suggests that we used to have fur but made different choices. Scientists have proposed several major theories for why we lost our body hair. The most widely accepted explanation is known as the thermoregulation argument. As our ancestors moved from shady forests into the blazing open grasslands, everything changed. They started running exceptionally long distances to hunt down fast prey. In this brutal heat, a thick coat of fur became a deadly survival liability. An individual covered in fur would quickly overheat and slow down during a chase. Their core body temperature would spike dangerously, causing them to collapse. Dying of heat exhaustion before catching food is the worst evolutionary outcome. Therefore, over hundreds of thousands of years, our ancestors gradually shed their fur. In its place, human bodies developed an absolutely insane number of sweat glands. A typical modern human possesses approximately 2 to 4 million sweat glands. This makes us, without exaggeration, the elite sweating machines of the planet. We are world-class moisture emitters designed to cool down on the run. This physiological superpower works perfectly during hot savanna summers. However, it becomes an extreme disadvantage when temperatures drop below freezing. Imagine trying to survive a freezing winter with nothing but bare, sweaty skin. This vulnerability is precisely where the necessity of clothing enters the story. The conventional narrative claims humans only made clothes after leaving Africa. According to this old story, humans encountered cold climates and wrapped themselves in skins. It sounds like a clean, logical explanation that a child could understand. Except the scientific timeline completely shatters this simple narrative. Genetic evidence reveals that humans started wearing clothes much earlier than expected. The birth of clothing occurred somewhere between 83,000 and 170,000 years ago. Yet massive waves of modern humans did not migrate out of Africa until 70,000 years ago. If clothes were just a response to cold weather, this timeline makes zero sense. Why would people wear clothes for tens of thousands of years in a warm climate? Something else must have driven this profound behavioral transformation. To find the real answer, researchers had to look at an unexpected biological witness. This brings us directly to the louse that changed everything we know about history. Geneticists at the University of Florida decided to map the evolutionary history of lice. Their breakthrough discovery permanently altered our understanding of human prehistory. To grasp their findings, we must examine a crucial piece of parasite biology. Modern humans are host to two completely distinct types of lice. Head lice live exclusively in the hair on your head and cling to strands. Body lice live specifically in the seams, folds, and fabric of clothing. These two insects represent two genetically separate populations today. Evolutionary data proves that body lice originally evolved from head lice. This specific evolutionary split carries an enormous historical significance. Body lice cannot survive on bare, hairless human skin for very long. They absolutely require fabric to hide, reproduce, and stay protected. They depend entirely on the unique warmth and shelter that garments provide. Therefore, body lice could not exist before humans wore clothing consistently. The moment body lice split from head lice marks the invention of clothing. By wearing clothes, ancient humans accidentally created a brand new ecological niche. A parasite quickly seized this new environment and mutated into a new species. When scientists calculated the genetic mutation rate, the results were stunning. The evolutionary divergence happened precisely around 170,000 years ago. This universally hated creature accidentally preserved the oldest evidence of human fashion. This tiny parasite knew we were getting dressed long before we kept records. It adapted, moved into our garments, and tracked our behavior through its DNA. This realization is both scientifically beautiful and deeply horrifying at the same time. If warmth was not the primary driver for early clothing, what was? The first major theory focuses on basic physical protection from the environment. Clothing provided a vital shield against the harsh sun and biting insects. Sharp vegetation and general skin abrasion posed constant threats on the savanna. A simple wrap made of animal hide created a meaningful barrier for survival. It kept early humans comfortable and drastically reduced dangerous infections from cuts. The second major theory is far more fascinating and involves social signaling. Humans are, at their absolute core, profoundly social and status-driven animals. We are compulsively obsessed with communicating our identity to the group. We constantly signal our status, tribal belonging, and personal strength. Long before clothing, ancestors used pigments like ochre for body decoration. Archaeological evidence proves body painting is older than the oldest clothing. The jump from painting skin to wearing a specific hide was a natural cognitive leap. Once an animal hide was worn, it immediately began to communicate social meaning. Wearing a powerful predator's skin signaled extreme bravery and hunting skill. This dynamic marked the true birth of the very first fashion industry. Around 50,000 years ago, a massive technological leap occurred in the archaeological record. Researchers began discovering the earliest polished bone needles with precise eyes. This invention allowed humans to create fitted, tailored clothing for the first time. Tailoring allowed garments to seal vital body heat against extreme outdoor cold. This was not mere survival instinct, it was advanced engineering and design thinking. Our ancient relatives like the Neanderthals were also processing hides for clothing. The impulse to clothe the body was shared across multiple intelligent human species. When brutal glacial cycles hit the Earth, clothing became the line between life and death. Sophisticated clothing technology allowed our ancestors to conquer every freezing continent. Over millennia, humans transitioned from heavy animal hides to woven plant fibers. We transformed a tool for survival into a complex language of identity and culture. Every choice you make about your outfit today connects you to this ancient legacy. You are doing exactly what your ancestors did on the African savanna long ago.